Hello everyone, today we are going to be talking about what it means to be sensitized. Sensitization is a term used to describe a tired nervous system. Now, I first heard that term in Dr. Claire Weeks' book, Hope and Help for Your Nerves. Ever since I read it in her book, I've not really heard a ton of other sources using that term, but it's kind of always stuck with me. Most people instead go for words like anxious or anxiety or panic, but there is a difference. There is a big difference between somebody who is experiencing some anxiety or somebody who's anxious and somebody who is experiencing full-blown sensitization. A person in a sensitized state tends to experience far more symptoms, far more intense symptoms for longer periods of time than a person who, let's say, is just anxious due to some sort of external circumstance. For example, someone might feel very anxious because they're going out of their comfort zone. Let's say they're trying something new like public speaking. Well, when that presentation is over, they will feel much better. They'll feel much more relaxed because the situation has passed. Whereas a sensitized person needs no real reason to be anxious. They don't need any sort of external circumstance to be anxious. They are just anxious, and very much so. So what really is sensitization? We already said that term refers to a tired nervous system, but what does that mean? How does that occur, and how does that feel? A tired nervous system is a nervous system that is constantly on edge. It's on a hair trigger, and you can feel it. A tired nervous system is easily upset over just about anything and everything, including your own thoughts. If we compare this to a healthy nervous system, we can see that a sensitized person is living in a body that is anxious and upset over pretty much everything for no real reason. So how does someone end up in a sensitized state? Sensitization typically occurs over a period of time where somebody is taxing their nervous system with negative habits and negative behaviors such as obsession and worry, shutting down, no longer partaking in the world around them, no longer living, just living in a world filled with obsession, worry, and Dr. Claire Weeks, she referred to these things as second fear. Second fear being what you add to the symptoms, what you add to the physical bodily symptoms, the intrusive thoughts, all of that fight, worry, obsession, no longer partaking in the world, no longer living, all of these things over a period of time creates sensitization and adds to it. You know, there is a varying degree of sensitization. You can be mildly sensitized and you can be severely sensitized, but sensitization does typically occur over time due to all of these bad habits. Just like it takes the nerves time to heal, it also takes the nerves time to break down and to continue to break down and become more and more severely sensitized. Now, what does it feel like to be sensitized? It sucks. But no, seriously, it's not fun. When you are in a sensitized nervous system, your body and mind are overreacting, like I said, to pretty much everything. So that means every irrational thought that pops into your mind, every swift movement around you, every little thing that might happen or occur in the real world can cause a shock, as Dr. Claire Weeks put it, to a sensitized person. Now, the problem then occurs that people are so alarmed by these physical symptoms and these irrational thoughts that they become very obsessed and worried. And we said earlier that a sensitization occurs through these bad habits, and the problem is it continues to stay alive through these bad habits. If you've got a tired nervous system from so many weeks or months or even years of worry and obsession and mentally fighting, adding all of this negativity, if you've got that going on and you continue to do it after the nerves have said, hey, I've had enough, I'm tired, if you continue to partake in those bad habits, you are just adding fuel to the fire. You're making an already tired nervous system even more tired. And again, the problem occurs that people get worked up about this. It doesn't feel good to experience all of these physical symptoms. It doesn't feel good to have all of these irrational thoughts. So they think that the logical option is to add more obsession and more worry. But again, this just makes it worse. So you see how people can get stuck in the cycle of sensitization. Now, instead of going over a boring list of the more common symptoms of sensitization, I just want to run you guys quickly through some of the symptoms that I felt. Keep in mind, these are symptoms, again, that I felt. You know, maybe you won't feel all of these, or maybe there's symptoms you have that I didn't, but here we go. So sensitization to me was a constant feeling, and I'm starting at the beginning. I'm starting when I was at my worst. A constant feeling of dread, a constant feeling of fear, adrenaline, anxiety, that feeling in the stomach, that pit in the stomach, the feeling of needing to run away from myself or run away from the situation, just always on edge. It came with muscle spasms, muscle aches. I used to get headaches. Visually, I was having some disturbances. Some people refer to that as depersonalization or derealization. I had a huge loss of appetite, sex drive. I was not partaking in the world around me. I had no sort of interest in the world around me. It was all about me, 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 constantly in my head with obsession and worry, a ton of irrational thoughts, thoughts that I can look back on today and actually laugh about, but at the time they just felt so serious. Every thought seemed to come with its own just cascade of symptoms that would really just be felt throughout my entire body. And of course, before I knew any better, I was fighting with all of this. I was mentally obsessed and worried about every thought and every feeling. I didn't know I should have been leaving it alone. I didn't know I was making it worse. I didn't know I was preventing myself from healing. So yeah, I'm referring to symptoms, guys, that I felt when I was at my worst, when I was adding all this, what Dr. Claire Weeks calls second fear, worry, obsession, all that good stuff. So yeah, just to sum it up, sensitization feels like crap. It feels like crap. And depending on how severely sensitized you are, it can feel like hell. Of course, you're only making it worse. You're making it far worse with all of the mental worry and obsession that you're doing. But yeah, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And anyone who's ever been sensitized or is currently going through sensitization probably understands why I'm having a difficult time putting it into words. There's just so much going on in the body and in the mind that it, like I said, it is quite difficult to put it all into words. So what can you do about being sensitized? Wonder Bro, you just told us how awful it is and how horrible it is. Are you going to leave us with just that and not tell us how to get out of it? Of course not. Here on my channel, we have what is called the 2 main keys. Now, those 2 main keys are pretty simple. You know, it's easier said than done, but they are pretty simple in theory. So the 2 main keys are to no longer mentally fight with your thoughts and feelings. Have the accepting inner voice, as Dr. Claire Weeks called it. What is the accepting inner voice? When you have these symptoms, when you have these thoughts, don't get into a mental argument or debate with them. Simply say, it is what it is, right? Simply have a voice that says, you know what? This is okay, this is allowed to be here. So you're stopping the fuel mentally. Now, the other of our 2 main keys is to live life. I know you don't feel like it. In fact, I know you feel horrible. But you have to show your brain that this alarm is false, that there is no real danger. So the 2 main keys are to stop the mental debate, right? Just tell yourself, it is what it is, this is allowed to be here, and then live, continue to live. Show your brain with your behaviors that there is no tiger. Act how you would act if there is no tiger, because there is no tiger. Your brain doesn't know that, though, so we have to prove that to the brain, and we can only do that through behaviors. So get up, live your life, we call that positive behaviors, and stop the mental debate. That is the 2 main keys. Of course, I've got a ton of videos and streams on my channel if you want to look more into the 2 main keys, but that's the gist. But anyway, you guys, not to get too off track, this video is dedicated to what is sensitization. So I think we went over the key points of sensitization here today, what it is, how it occurs, what it feels like, or at least what it felt like to me, right? So this video is really aimed at newcomers to the channel, but if you did enjoy this video and you want to learn more about sensitization and those 2 keys, check out the rest of my videos on the channel. We'd love to have you here, but I think we pretty much summed it all up today. I want to keep this video relatively short. All right, you guys, I love you oh so much. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. Also, comment down below. Let me know how you've been. Let me know if you enjoy videos like this. Now, everyone watching this is probably thinking the same thing. If you've been here for a while, you're like, where's the stream? You're uploading a regular video. That is weird. That is strange. And I understand, but I kind of figured, why not? This is probably not something I'm going to do every single day. It might just be like a rare treat here on the channel, but we're going to stick mainly to our streams. However, yes, let me know if you enjoy this sort of thing. Do you want to see the odd video pop up on the channel, or should I just stick mainly to streaming? Let me know. I love you guys so much. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. What was my outro again? I forget what. Oh, yes. Stay awesome. Man, I haven't done this in a long time. Long time. How do you stop this? Oh.